Kasanka National Park in Zambia is a place that seems sculpted by nature itself to harbor fascinating secrets. Amid the much-to-wet forest, tall trees and intricate branches create an almost magical sanctuary. It is here, in the heart of the park, that one of the world's greatest natural spectacles unfolds: the arrival of the straw-colored fruit bats. From October to January, millions of bats fill the sky at dusk, transforming the scenery into something out of a fairy tale. Tree branches become so densely covered that it's impossible to distinguish wood from wings. The once tranquil, green landscape transforms into a vibrant tapestry of movement. As night falls, the air is dominated by a peculiar sound, a symphony of chirps reminiscent of clumsy bird songs. This spectacle is not only visual but also sensory. The sound, constant motion, and even the smell of the forest, infused by the bat's presence, create an unforgettable experience. It's not just about observing nature, but immersing oneself in a phenomenon few have the chance to witness. As daylight fades, visitors and researchers prepare to observe what comes next. This is not merely a moment of wonder, but the beginning of a journey to understand a mystery connecting these small flyers to the delicate balance of Africa's ecosystem. After all, what draws millions of bats to the same place every year? As Kasanka National Park transforms into a living theater for millions of bats, curiosity about these flying mammals grows. Understanding the protagonists of the spectacle is key to appreciating their unique role in nature. Straw-colored fruit bats Eidolon helvum inhabit sub-Saharan Africa, boasting features that amaze even seasoned observers. Their wings, with a span of up to 76 centimeters, are delicate, almost translucent, yet incredibly strong. Their small, furry bodies conceal a voracious appetite for fruit, making them pivotal players in the ecosystem. Frugivorous by nature, these bats feast on a varied diet, including mangoes, bananas, and native fruits like waterberries and purple berries. At night in Kasanka, they fly long distances, often up to 100 kilometers, in search of these delights, returning at dawn to rest on tree branches. This nocturnal behavior is essential for seed dispersal, a vital function for regenerating Africa's forests. Beyond their ecological impact, Eidolon helvum exhibit complex social behaviors. Gathering in large colonies, they create an impressive communication system. Their loud, varied calls may sound like a chaotic cacophony, but help coordinate flight and food searches. For researchers, this interaction holds many mysteries. Despite their importance, these bats face prejudice and misinformation. In many local cultures, they are associated with bad omens or disease. In reality, they are silent allies of environmental balance. Every fruit consumed and seed scattered plays a role in sustaining entire ecosystems. Understanding these bats is more than a scientific exercise. It is a step toward appreciating the intricate web of interactions that sustain life in Africa. Through them, Kasanka Park becomes not just a wildlife refuge, but a testament to the irreplaceable role each species plays in the natural world. Each year, as the African rainy season begins, Zambia's skies transform into a dynamic stage of movement and sound. From October to January, millions of straw-colored fruit bats embark on their journey to Kasanka National Park. The migration spectacle begins at sunset, as flocks of bats emerge on the horizon, turning the sky into a dark canvas filled with moving shapes. These winged travelers come from various parts of sub-Saharan Africa, including Tanzania, Malawi, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. While the migratory routes remain largely a mystery, the destination is clear: the much-to-wet forests of Kasanka, which offer an abundance of fresh fruits. By day, the bats perch in tall trees, forming a dense layer that makes the branches look like they're covered in living fabric. At night, the environment undergoes a complete transformation. The deafening sound of their calls, echoing like a disordered orchestra, signals mass movement. When they finally take flight, the sky darkens as though a living cloud passes over the region. This flight is not just a visual spectacle, but a demonstration of organization and resilience. Each bat can fly up to 100 kilometers in search of food, traversing farms and forests for fruits like mangoes, bananas, and berries. Visitors who witness the event often describe mixed feelings of awe and humility. It's as if nature is telling a story, says one local guide. For researchers, the migration presents both a challenge and a mystery, as much remains to be learned about the bats' movement patterns and their impact on the ecosystem. Beyond the visual splendor, there is a deep connection between the bats and the environment. With each flight, they disperse seeds, regenerating forests and maintaining ecological balance. This silent interaction with nature makes Kasanka not only a destination for observers, but also a symbol of the delicate link between wildlife and its habitat. Despite the grandeur of the phenomenon, the migration of straw-colored fruit bats remains shrouded in mystery. The most intriguing question is, why do millions of bats travel to Kasanka every year? While the abundance of fruit in the Mushita forest is a likely explanation, it alone does not fully account for the specific choice of this location or the migration period from October to January. Scientists also hypothesize that migration may be linked to reproductive patterns. Preliminary studies suggest that the bats breed in other locations, such as Mozambique and Tanzania, before embarking on their long journey to Zambia. However, no definitive evidence confirms this theory. Moreover, it remains unknown whether the same bats return to Kasanka each year, or if new individuals somehow learn the route. Another intriguing mystery is how they navigate such vast distances. Unlike migratory birds, which often rely on magnetic fields or stars, bats appear to follow navigation patterns that are not yet fully understood. The lack of advanced technologies, such as durable GPS trackers, makes precise tracking of their movements challenging. It's like trying to piece together a puzzle with missing parts, explains Tigo Mera, a specialist in bat behavior. He leads efforts to unravel the migration patterns of these animals, but the work is complex and requires patience. Straw-colored fruit bats travel in massive colonies, complicating individual tagging and monitoring. In addition to questions about migratory behavior, scientists wonder how the migration route is passed down between generations. Do older bats guide younger ones, or does natural instinct play a larger role? What is known is that this phenomenon is unique. No other bat species in Africa undertakes long-distance migrations of this magnitude. The mystery surrounding the bats does not diminish their importance. On the contrary, it highlights how much remains unknown about nature and how these small flyers have much to teach us. Each attempt to answer questions raises new ones, making the migration of straw-colored fruit bats one of contemporary ecology's greatest enigmas. Behind the beauty and fascination of the migration lies a sobering reality. This species faces an uncertain future. Large-scale deforestation is one of the greatest threats to their habitat. The Mushita forests of Kasanka National Park, essential for the migratory phenomenon, are shrinking due to agricultural expansion and logging. Without these areas, the bats lose critical refuges for resting and feeding. Another significant threat is hunting. In some regions, bats are captured for human consumption, especially during periods of food scarcity. Negative perceptions about bats, often seen as disease carriers or harbingers of bad luck, also contribute to their persecution. This combination of misinformation and economic necessity places additional pressure on Idolan helvan populations. Furthermore, climate change is impacting migratory patterns. Changes in rainfall cycles and temperatures can interfere with food availability and disrupt migration routes, making survival even more difficult for the species. The situation is alarming. Straw-colored fruit bats are currently classified as near-threatened by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN. If current trends continue, this iconic species could be driven to extinction, with devastating consequences for the African ecosystem. Despite these challenges, conservation efforts are underway. Kasanka National Park remains one of the primary protected refuges for the bats, and local and international NGOs are working to raise awareness about the ecological value of bats. Educational projects have shown farmers that bats are more allies than enemies, as they help regenerate forests and maintain soil fertility through seed dispersal. The survival of straw-colored fruit bats depends on joint actions to protect their habitat, reduce hunting, and promote coexistence with human communities. They are more than winged travelers. They are silent guardians of biodiversity, and protecting them means preserving an irreplaceable part of our planet. The spectacle of straw-colored fruit bat migration is not just a natural event. It is a testament to the complexity and interdependence of ecosystems. With every flight, every fruit consumed, and every seed dispersed, these small mammals play a vital role in maintaining nature's balance. However, the future of this unique phenomenon depends on our choices. Witnessing millions of bats in flight at Kasanka National Park is a powerful reminder of the beauty and fragility of the natural world. As we marvel at the grandeur of the event, we are also faced with the responsibility of protecting it. The loss of this species would not only mean the end of a spectacle, but also a rupture in an ecological system that benefits not just Africa, but the entire planet. The migration of straw-colored fruit bats teaches a fundamental lesson. Every living being, no matter how small, has an irreplaceable role in the web of life. To ensure this phenomenon continues to exist, it is essential to preserve habitats, support conservation initiatives, and promote coexistence between humans and wildlife. The future is in our hands, and protecting these winged travelers is an act of hope for them and for us.